It's good, boys. It's a Wednesday night. And on days like this, on nights like this, this is where really get into deep thought. A lot of times, this is like the hot tub I literally sat into when I was at the worst point of my life, extreme derealization, just questioning my existence every single day, like hoping that I would have the opportunity to speak and like live the life that I wanted to live, like live a free life mentally. And it's like during that stage of my life, you could have given me $1 million, my dream physique, a Lamborghini, a dream girl, anything in the world, and I genuinely would have been lost. I would have been depressed at the core. It wouldn't have changed a thing for me mentally. And it's like during that time in my life, I realized that all freedom truly comes from within. It comes from your mind. It comes from what goes on in your head. And when you can learn to master your mind, master your thought, that's when you can start to choose how you want to perceive your own reality, choose the thoughts you want to think, choose the life you want to live. Because it's like no one can take away the perception you have on stress, the perception you have on anxiety, the perception you have on any single one of your issues. And a lot of people, they go through stuff in life and they're always living at the effects of things in their life. They're always the effect. And it took me so many years to finally start becoming the cause of things in my life, to where like I was the one in control, to where, I had that control. And in this video, I just wanted to get out the point of becoming the person you want to become today. So you could be dealing with your anxiety, you could be dealing with your derealization, your stress, you could be dealing with all these hard times mentally, feeling trapped, feeling like a slave to your own brain. But if you always separate the person you want to become at the core, like the person you dream of becoming, with who you are right now, you will never become that person. It's like at the lowest point of my life, I thought I was going to lose everything. I thought I did it to myself. When I was smoking weed and all that, and I quit, and I was left with the worst derealization you could imagine. Like my vision I had like visuals all day. Like I had static in my vision, felt like I was behind a glass wall, felt like I just wasn't here anymore, didn't even know who I was. And in that moment, I was like, this is not me. And I kept saying, this wasn't me. This isn't my identity. This isn't the person I was. And I remember just like feeling like it was forever. Like my perception of time was messed up. My days were just going by, and I was like, this is the worst thing that could have ever happened to me. And I remember saying that to myself, but it's like, no, it wasn't. It's just mentally it feels like it, because my perception of reality was skewed into a perception of negativity, a perception of stress. And it's like all I needed to do was to shift that perspective into a more positive lifeline, to where I could be on path with my goals and on path with my purpose. And I would look at my perspective of life and just it would get worse and worse. And every single time I'd react to a situation negatively, I would get more negative responses, more negative outcomes, more negative results to my life. And it was so hard for me to truthfully live in a positive state, when every single time I'd wake up, the first thought that would come to my head was like, why do I feel like this? Why do I feel like this just trapped mentally? And I would always be like, I can't become the person that's confident. I can't become the person that starts a business. I can't become this person that goes to the gym and gets his dream physique if I feel like this every day. Because I would walk into the gym and I would not even feel like I was in my own body. I'd walk into the gym and I'd feel empty. I'd walk into the gym and I was like, I'd look at people laughing and having a good time, and it would just make me sick. It would make me so angry, because I was like, why can't I just feel like this? Why can't I just feel normal? Why can't I feel like everyone else? Feel like I used to feel. I just wanted my life back. And I knew in the gym, if I could just, back then I was like, the only thing that got me to still go to the gym was knowing that if I could maximize the one thing I could control in this life, which was the gym, which was self-improvement, which was working on my physique, and just the only thing that like I would go through my head when I walk into the gym was move weight, push the iron, get stronger. It was like the most simple thing. And even though I didn't feel like I was in my own body, it was enough to just continue to go. And it was like I never stopped going. I never stopped, and I kept going. I started getting more control over my life physically. And then I realized, I was like, it doesn't matter what happens to me. It doesn't matter what you throw in my face. It doesn't matter the stress, the derealization, the anxiety I'm going through. I can become who I want to be right now. And when I got to that realization, that's when everything changed. I was like, I can become the man who's overcome these things today. I can act as if I've already overcame it. And the way neuroscience works is your whole entire brain, your whole entire body, your whole entire life starts to form when your ideology and when your whole perspective of who you are is today, in the present. When you can become the person you dreamed of becoming, not in a week, not when you've overcame this, but while you're going through it in that moment, that's when you've overcome it. I stayed in the state for so long because I was like, if I do overcome this, then I'll be confident. If I do overcome this, then I'll go to the gym. If I do overcome this, then I'll get jacked. Then I'll get $1 million. Then I'll get my dream physique. And it was like, no, I need to overcome this now. I need to say I am that person. I wake up motivated. I am a 1 of 0, not even a 1 of 1, because I am proving to myself every single solitary day that I am someone that the version of me can't even comprehend. And it's like, that's how you need to live your life. You need to wake up regardless of what people are telling you to do, regardless of what's happening to you, regardless of what's being thrown in your face, and say, I wake up motivated. I am a 1 of 1. I can control my life. I am that person now. I am that person today. And you reinforce your goals every single day. You reinforce who you are every single day. And eventually you start to live life in congruence with the version that isn't stress. You start to act as, like, close your eyes and just imagine this version of you that doesn't have anxiety, derealization, or whatever kind of stress you're going through in this life. Imagine the version of you that doesn't have those things. What kind of food would he eat? What time would he wake up? Like, how would he act? What would be the activities he does? Like, would he be busy? Would he have a business? Would he have a girlfriend? When you can have all the things that the version of you that is stress-free has, when you can start to live primarily like the version of you that is stress-free would, when you can start to be active, be a masculine man that is in motion, a man that, like, demonstrating active masculinity at all times, always being in motion like we were meant to live, then you're no longer stress-free. And living an anxiety, stress-free life comes from truly mastering the mind. It's like, I'm telling you guys, like, I remember just wishing that I was physically in pain, that something was happening to me physically, because I was so gone mentally. I was scared of death, but I was also afraid of living. And it was like the worst state ever. But what got me out of it was taking control of my mind in today, taking control of my mind in the present. And it's like, you have to become that person now, in the moment today. Because no matter if you believe what I'm saying or not, you will eventually get to the point to where you're like, oh shit, this guy was right. It's like becoming the person that has everything you want: the physical physique, the dream car, the dream girl, the dream life, the dream everything. When you can literally say, you know what, I'm that person right now today. I have accomplished those things now. I am going to live and mold myself to this ideology that no one else can tell me who I am, because I am someone who lives stress-free. I am someone who is confident. I am someone who wakes up every single day in line with his purpose, in line with the reason that God put me on this earth to be. And when you are in line with your purpose every single day, you start to realize that things don't happen to you, but for you to build you and sculpt you into the man that you were meant to become. And that every single struggle was there, so you can start to weaponize that struggle and use it to your greater success. Every single time you had stress, you realize that was there, so you can put it into something great, like the gym. Every single time something bad happens, you have this growth mindset of, oh, this is happening because I needed it in order to become the person who can go get my goals. Because it's like, you can have all the goals in the world. You can have everything you need to accomplish in this life. But if you aren't the person who can get those endeavors, it's pointless. So God gives you struggles and purpose. He gives you struggles for a reason. He gives you this stress and anxiety for a reason. He gave me it because now I understand what I'll have to go through. Now I understand the importance of not taking this life for granted. I understand why this life is so valuable. And it's like, now that I have this perspective, now I can go get my goals. And God gives the biggest struggles to the most ambitious people, because he realizes, he sees your goals, and he understands that for you to get your goal, you're going to have to struggle, because you're not going to have that discipline, that consistency, that perseverance to be able to push through when stuff gets hard. So it's like, thank God for your struggles, thank God for your stress, and become that person today. Quick video today, but valuable video. And this is the opportunity. You guys have the opportunity to change your life right now. You can get out of anxiety, you can get out of derealization, you can get out of stress just as fast as you got into it. So make that choice today. You guys can connect with me on Instagram. You can follow me on there. I give so much value on there. I'm so consistent. But yeah, that's all for this video today. I'll catch you boys. Peace.